TopDon's got a really nice sale going on right now on their AD900 Lite. And this right here has become my favorite scanner of all the scanners that I've used. And I say that because it's going to have more functions than the 500 and the 600. But at the same time, for the price point, this right here is pretty sweet setup. So one thing that I like about it is they've got a pretty banging sale right now. And you can check the link down below to find out more details on it. But hey, if you're looking for something with free lifetime updates, the 500 and the 600, they are the way to go. Now the 900 and up, you're going to be picking up, 2 years free, and after that you've got a yearly subscription. But like on the 900, you're talking 120 on the year. But at the same time, if you decide not to update, hey, you keep your current OBD2 functions on that. And you can decide to update when you're ready to get the current vehicle information and so forth. But as of right now, the price point on this right here, it's hard to go wrong with it. And so this right here is set up so it's actually a Bluetooth bi-directional unit. So you've actually got a VCI, this magnetic that sits in the case here. And what you would need to do is connect that to a hard cable to your OBD2 functions there. And so that way you can walk around the vehicle doing your diagnostics and your checks and so forth. And you've got around 33 feet of a range that you can walk around that Bluetooth capability to be able to honk the horn, relays, motors, wipers, so forth. So that way you're sending that signal in real time, you're getting it back. Hey, that's a good circuit and you can go on. So it's going to cut down your diagnostic time on it. So when it comes down to it, this right here is a pretty nice setup, and that you're going to get extra functions that you would not find on the 500 and the 600. And that being a USB-A port that you can plug info in. You've got the hard connection. You've even got a headphone jack that you can connect to a 3.5, but also you got an HDMI port, so that way you can run it to an external monitor, so that way you can show the customer what's going on real time, looking at your graphs and your data reports and your freeze frames, and that way you and the customer both have an agreement on what we need to do to repair that vehicle, or if it's your personal vehicle, it gives you a lot of options there. But another thing is that this has a slot that you can connect an SD card for additional 128 gig of storage there. So that's a pretty sweet setup. And to have this little hanger here that you can hang over the vehicle, or set it up somewhere to prop it. So this gives you a lot more versatility as far as being able to diagnose the vehicle. So excuse me, a lot of people ask, what does it cover as far as the vehicle? And it's going to cover your big three, like your, Ford, GM, Chevy, as well as your European and your Asian. So you're talking Land Rovers, Ram, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Saabs. It's got just a pretty wide range. So you're talking over 100 models, which is over 10,000 vehicles that this right here is going to cover. So this right here, for the price point, it's really hard to go wrong with it. But then you start looking at other options as far as like the library. Hey, you're talking like anti-lock brake system, your airbag system, your brake system, engine, transmission, your maintenance lights, your glow plugs, washer fluid, transmission, so DPF resets and regens and anti-lock brake system. Hey, this right here has got a pretty wide range of what it can, cover and the capabilities of that. So you start looking, you got the Bluetooth option on that. You turn a flashlight on, screen recorder with the press of a button, rotate it around. So if you want landscape or so forth, hey, this right here, same idea. You can flip between screens to toggle. So that way, if you got something up on the internet, you can look back and forth as far as that repair guide, what's going on with it. So it just overall, it's a really nice setup, not to mention the battery tester. Most people, when it comes to the battery testers, they'll use things like this right here that they can just connect their vehicle, their battery with a little device here like the BT100. And hey, it's going to give you a reading on what that battery is, but it also is going to go as far as to check those cold cranking amps. So that's a big factor. It may read 12 volts, but if it's not up to 850 cold cranking amps, it's probably on its way out the door. So this right here is going to give you more advanced settings when you're on the the battery testing and so forth. And when it comes to the updates, again, you got updates for 2 years, and after that you got the subscription if you decide to update or not. But user info, hey, you're talking about sending out to shop info. You can store that info from the client or the shop, so forth. Hey, this right here, it's got a lot more options than many other scanners do. At the price point, it's hard to go wrong. And don't discount the size of the battery, because these right here, you're talking a 3350 milliamp hour battery. This right here has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. So you're talking 12 hours of runtime that this battery life will last. And 33 feet to be able to walk around that, Bluetooth bi-directional unit here. This right here is a really nice setup. So one other big factor is these models here, they've got a 5-inch touchscreen here, but this one right here, you're moving up to an 8-inch touchscreen. So pretty sweet setup. But again, at the price point right now, you check the link down below to find out more details on it. You will not be disappointed. So if this right here is something that is maybe too much for you, the 500 is a really nice unit. Don't discount it. So it's going to cover a lot of the things as far as the vehicles, as well as, as far as the library. It's going to cover very many of those things, just the same, but not quite as many. So the 600, that's where you're going to pick up, 3 more hot resets, like your ABS bleeding, your DPF resets and regen. So this right here, to be able to have the internet, as well as those, different advanced functions on it. The 900 is really a nice setup here. But check the link, guys. You will not be disappointed. But at the price point, it's hard to go wrong on the AD900 Lite. This thing is one sweet setup here.